This year, King Charles will be sending out his first Christmas message as monarch from the same chapel in Windsor Castle where his mother, Queen Elizabeth, was laid to rest 3 months ago. A portrait of the king standing in the choir for his first Christmas Day broadcast to the nation and the Commonwealth was released in the days leading up to the holiday. The king's first Christmas speech, which was recorded on December 13th, is being closely guarded, although its contents will be anxiously awaited. The king's relationship with his parents and his dedication to their ideals are shown in the strongest way possible by the deliberate choice of location, where his father, the late Duke of Edinburgh, is also laid to rest. His second marriage to the current Queen Consort took place in 2005, and the service of prayer and dedication was held there as well. The king is seen standing to give his address in the chapel's choir in the lone press image made public so far. He is dressed in a favorite, bright blue suit that he frequently wears. It was likely fashioned by his go-to-Mayfair tailor, and he wore it when Donald Trump visited the country in 2019. Over the years, the late Queen Elizabeth II visited many different places. The royal family typically spends Christmas at Sandringham, where the late Queen delivered her first live television speeches. In 1999, she delivered a message to celebrate the end of the millennium from the same location. She recorded messages from the Royal Mews at Buckingham Palace and even the Royal Albert Hall throughout her reign, but in recent years, she had been restricted to working at a desk. For the first time, her speech was totally shot on location at Combermere Barracks near Windsor in 2003. The BBC reported at the time that the late Queen had used the same desk and chair as her father King George VI and his father King George V had done during her first Christmas speech in 1952. She requested that people pray for her on her coronation day the following spring in the message. If the current king still asks his subjects for the same thing after 70 years, it will be noteworthy. In some ways, by choosing the chapel, the uncomfortable issue of having artifacts on display on a desk or in the background of any sitting area or study is avoided. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who are at odds with the royal family over their Netflix documentary and an upcoming memoirs, will be the subject of close scrutiny as this year's speech is given. The absence of a desk prevents visitors from evaluating whether or not images of his youngest son, his bride, and their children, who currently reside in California in an effective exile, should be prominent. The king made a point of expressing my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas, in his first speech to the nation, which was given the day after his mother passed away. But since then, things have only gotten worse. However, the new king will lavishly honor his mother. Her funeral service was held at St. George's Chapel, and she and her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, were buried there together in the George VI Memorial Chapel. The royal family sat in the chapel choir throughout the committal service, which was broadcast to hundreds of millions of people worldwide. King Charles spoke movingly of his beloved mother after the Queen passed away, telling the country in September, "We owe her the most heartfelt debt any family can owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example." The chapel choir will sing the national anthem and a carol during this year's Christmas show. The chapel's Christmas tree, which is in the background, is ornamented with items made of recycled materials like paper and glass as well as organic elements like pine cones. The king has been an active environmentalist for many years, and his choice of eco-friendly decor highlights the years he spent doing so while still the heir to the throne. The Christmas tree was reused by St. George's Chapel in the Dean's Cloister for guests to enjoy after the recording of the holiday address. A rotating producer system between the BBC, ITV, and Sky News allowed BBC Studios events to make the program before ITV, whose turn it was to record the King's first holiday address. According to a representative for Buckingham Palace, the BBC had experience of shooting in St. George's Chapel this year when the decision was made.